glad you asked it, because when I built the coin, it was mainly for the diaspora to fuel it. You follow? But it's showing, what we're seeing is that the Africans are taking initiative to take it and own it, which is even better because the purpose was for Africa to own it. But we needed a fuel, we needed an engine, and we felt like the diaspora would be that engine to actually fuel it, right? So it's actually working both ways. And I like the fact that the diaspora is getting more engaged. And it goes back to, his question of how I was promoting African Americans in America to have more, put more focus in the opportunities in Africa. Because what happens is we've been taught so much about Africa to the point where we're afraid of Africa. The local African American friends that I have, the moment you mention Africa, they start shaking. They're literally afraid. They don't know what to expect. And most of them don't even know that the distance between New York and LA is the same distance from New York to Senegal. And it costs the exact same amount. So it's not like it's that far away for you to have to, it's not a 12, 13, 15, 24-hour flight. It's literally a 6.5-hour flight from New York to LA to Senegal. Most of them don't even know that. So it's to the point where if people just knew what that opportunity was in Africa, it would change everything. Especially African Americans, because I always tell them, I know we complain a lot about the American system, but the American system was never built for you. So you can go to a system that's built for you, and then you can enhance and develop that. And you got the support to do it, you just got to have the heart to do it.
We have time for one more question.
Hi, I'm Diane Foy. I have a performing arts podcast, and as a publicist, I'm curious why 4 albums at once, and also, do you have any advice for up-and-coming performing artists?
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so there's a couple reasons why I decided 4 albums at once. One of them was I wanted to do something that's never been done before. And every time I said it, everybody said, "Man, you crazy. Why? It's too much music at one time." What? 4 albums? Are you crazy? And I'd be like, yes, I am crazy, but I'm not dumb. We're in a streaming world now. See, back when I was selling music, it would have been too much music. If we were selling it from Walmart or Hi-Fi Buy or Best Buy, from the racks, I agree with you 100%. There would have been too much music. But the difference this time is that we're now in the world of streaming, which means every genre has its own playlist. So if I do an album in Latin America that's considered a Latin album, that album will be played on the Latin stations and Latin playlists, which won't affect the Afrobeat album, which will be on the Afrobeat stations and the Afrobeat playlist, which won't affect the hip-hop album, which will be on the hip-hop playlist and hip-hop stations, which won't affect the pop album, which will be on pop playlists and pop stations. So I can release all 4 of those records at the same exact time with a cross-marketing of all the fans that actually support me in different cultures, different languages. And for them to get to the other side, they will actually physically have to hear that album to know that those other albums exist, and they will make it upon themselves to go check it out.
Yeah. One more from here.
Hi, I'm Sarah Brittany Somerset for Forbes. Akon, thank you for this briefing. Last time we spoke at a UN briefing about Akon Lighting Africa, you mentioned your initiative. One of the things that we didn't get a chance to discuss was with your Bitcoin. As you know, in Africa, many people have to use prepaid phone services because they cannot get monthly services. So will your Bitcoin incorporate with the phone companies to allow it to pay for phone services?
It's funny, I was just saying that too, because what we're doing is we're creating the partnerships with the actual mobile companies, where you can also even take your bit minutes and trade them for Akoins, and utilize Akoins, even trade them for bit minutes, and in fiat currency as well, right, John?
Sure. One of our central themes is that the coin has an internal exchange mechanism, so you can go right between prepaid cell minutes, fiat currency, and our crypto, and that can be used for all tools, services, payments, not only within the ecosystem but beyond it. Very much so.
Because I know some Africans that are millionaires, minutaires. And I never knew that existed, but I had a friend who had over 1 million minutes.
Yeah.
And I didn't know minutaires existed until I got to Africa.
Like gold.
It's a major store of value on the continent, so it's an essential thing that we're working with.
That's all we have time for. Thanks, everybody.